So, on Smackdown this past Friday, or 2 days ago actually, on the eve of the Rumble, Naomi and Sonya Deville finally had a one-on-one match between each other. And this was a result of the fact that the week prior, Sonya Deville had abused her power as a special guest referee in Naomi's match against Charlotte. And basically, Adam Pearce was in a segment with Eric Bischoff, who I guess was there to help advise Adam, kind of give him an idea of what true leadership is. And Adam basically said that, what Sonya did out there was appalling. And that he was going to talk to WWE management about putting her in a match the following week, which was this past Friday. Now, Naomi ended up winning the match clean, but then Sonya decided that she wasn't going to let Naomi have her fun or have her celebration, and she told her that I've got a surprise for you when it comes to the Rumble. That surprise is me, and that I'm going to enter the Rumble, and she did. But she didn't enter it, officially at first, because all she wanted to do was commentate, and I think any fan could see that her plan was basically to commentate to the very end, and then when the opportunity presented itself, get in there and throw the last competitors out of the ring to declare herself the winner. I mean, we can all see that coming. Thankfully, WWE didn't do that. Instead, they just had Sonya go out there and say, hey, when Naomi shows up, that's when I'll get in the ring so I can finally, put an end to this or something. Well, what got Sonya into the ring at first was the return of Cameron, who was one half of the Funkadactyls with Naomi. And when Corey Graves let it slip that, she used to be the partner and somewhat real-life best friend of Naomi, that's when Sonya got in the ring, attacked Cameron, and eliminated her. Now, Naomi came out afterwards, because she was the next entrant, went to go check on her friend briefly to see if she was okay, and I guess, Cameron, in story said, go get that, B-I-T-C-H. And that's what Naomi did. She ended up beating the hell out of her and eliminating her. But later on, Naomi would basically pay for that, because just when it looked like she was about to have one of her save moments, as like Kofi would, that's the one thing, running theme both of them have in the Rumble matches, is they have these save moments. Sonya Deville showed back up, grabbed her by the hand, and drug her out. And, that basically, pretty much told a lot of fans that this issue between the two wasn't over, or won't be over for who knows how long. But the biggest question, though, anybody has is, what is going on here? What is the issue between Sonya Deville and Naomi? It's like, in storyline, what does Sonya have against Naomi that, she has such I guess you can say, I wouldn't say vindication, or basically, she has such a vileness for. It's like, what does Sonya have against Naomi that, she just wants to screw with her, and everything, cost her opportunities and everything. It's like, what's her problem, with Naomi? And I thought about this, and after seeing what happened in the Rumble match, in the replay, I started to think, could it be that WWE is doing a storyline very subtly, between Sonya and Naomi that pretty much is, a storyline that once it becomes more clearer, it'll basically get people talking like, really? We're going to go down that route with these two? And what I'm talking about is, just the way, you base Sonya Deville's actions against Naomi, and the way she's been trying to screw her, mistreat her, ignore her. It sounds and looks very familiar to something that happened in 2003, doesn't it? Let me explain. You see, when we were going into WrestleMania 19, the main event on the Raw side of things was Triple H and Booker T. And the way they built the storyline going into that feud was that Triple H was treating Booker T like he was beneath him, and treating him more like somebody that was subservient to him. And basically the storyline between those two was about race, and how the white race is better than the black race, how white supremacy triumphs over the African American. And the reason I bring that up is because I think that's exactly what they're doing here. Maybe not on the levels that they did with Triple H and Booker T back in 2003, but it's very identical. Very identical. I mean, the way that, Sonya is, has been and is treating Naomi, how she's, when Naomi first showed up, she wasn't pleased to see her on Smackdown, how she was not happy about the fact that she was drafted to stay on Smackdown. All these incidents, just being showcased on Smackdown and now so at the Rumble, it just really gives off the vibes that what WWE is doing here is a racial storyline. It's a storyline to where Sonya, being white, mostly, feels that she's more superior over Naomi because Naomi's black. Now, you might think, that's a stupid direction for WWE to go, right? And it is. It is a stupid direction because, despite how subtle they try to make the storyline on SmackDown, it's very obvious and very evident that that's what's going on. Now, this could, giving them the benefit of the doubt, could play into a bigger picture. Some people are predicting Sasha against Charlotte, for the women's championship, there at WrestleMania. And that's probably what we're going to get. Some are predicting maybe Lita and Charlotte at WrestleMania. And that's what we could get. But if I was to give WWE the benefit of the doubt, at least try to, I wouldn't put it past them that this whole racial, feud, rivalry between Sonya and Naomi is all part of, building Naomi up to challenge the true mastermind behind all this. And that, of course, being Charlotte. Because let us not forget, it wasn't that long ago, about several months ago, well, it was shown on camera on Raw, when Charlotte was still part of Raw, that Sonya Deville was sneaking her in. Sonya Deville was siding with her, giving her favors. And we kind of saw that recently on SmackDown. So you have to think to yourself, is this all to build to a match between Charlotte and Naomi at WrestleMania? And that in the end, it's going to be shown and revealed that Charlotte is the true racial antagonist behind all this. It really makes you wonder when you get down to it. But to me, even if it's not that, even if it's not that, if you will, that it feels, that this storyline feels like it's being similar to what they did in 2003. Like I said, even if it doesn't result in the revelation that Charlotte's the true mastermind and racial hater behind this, and that it's all just Sonya, it still gives off those vibes. It still gives off those vibes of, racial hatred, between, Sonya, that Sonya has towards Naomi. Because if that's not the case, then why is she so against her? Why is she trying to hold her down? So what I feel is going to happen, potentially on a future SmackDown, maybe the SmackDown this Friday on Fox, is it's going to be revealed somehow that Sonya is a racist. Now, it may come down to the fact that Stephanie McMahon, more than likely, could be pulled into this, and she'll reveal the truth saying she's done some investigating and she's found out a disturbing and unsettling truth about Sonya, and that truth is that she's a racist, and that she was raised as one, and because her family's one, that's what the end result is. That if that's the revelation as to why she's so against Naomi, then you got to basically give us a payoff, and that payoff has got to be not just in a regular match between the two, but maybe a street fight. Either a street fight on Smackdown or at the Saudi show. So that way this comes to an end. Or maybe you set up a street fight, if you do the revelation later on, between the two at WrestleMania, so that we would have more than just one women's match on the show, and that this match is, believe it or not, worthy of a WrestleMania spotlight with a stipulation. Not just a match stipulation, but a stipulation maybe to where if Sonya doesn't win, Sonya is not only fired as an official of WWE, which she could already be in story, but that also she is fired from WWE permanently, because they don't want, those kind of individuals around that feel they're more superior over somebody else because of race. That basically could be the direction we head into. But we'll have to wait and see. And I know that's something hard to say about WWE when it comes to those storylines. But it seems that but here's the thing: Naomi is married to Jimmy Uso. She's basically the cousin-in-law of Roman Reigns. She's family. So her being in the storyline, even if it's very controversial, if you will, and it's not as subtle as WWE is trying to make it out to be, it is putting spotlight on her. It is giving her a purpose. And despite what direction they go in, whether it's Charlotte that's revealed to be the mastermind behind all this, or it's just, some kind of racial situation that, Sonya was raised on because her family was one, that results in a match at Mania between the two, maybe a match stipulation of a street fight with, the stipulation that if Sonya loses, that she'll be gone from WWE for good because they don't want, a racist person around. Who knows? We'll just have to see what they do. But like I said, it just feels like it gives off those vibes. It really does. And despite how you might feel, about the storyline as a whole, and maybe you watch this video and you say that there's no way WWE would do that, they're not that stupid. I wouldn't put it past them. And I think anybody watching this would agree. Don't put it past them to do something like this, even if they try to make it out as subtle as possible. Because again, in storyline, what is Sonya Deville's problem with Naomi since she's arrived on Smackdown? Huh? If that doesn't, the way she's mistreated her, the way she's ignored her, the way she's screwed with her and everything, if that doesn't red flag, racial tones in the storyline, and basically this being a racial storyline period, I don't know what does. And is it similar, like I said, to Triple H and Booker T's storyline going into Mania 19 in 2003? Yeah, similar. Not the same, but similar. And here's the thing: WWE made a mistake there. The mistake they made is not having Booker T go over Triple H to get vindication and show, hey, I might be of a different color and a different race than you, but I'm just as good, if not better than you, when it comes to being in the ring. So, so the plan is for Naomi to get vindication, over Sonya in a match stipulation, in a stipulated match at WrestleMania with a stipulated rule. If, let's say, Sonya loses, she's gone. Or against Charlotte, if Charlotte's revealed to be the one behind all this for the SmackDown title, then the obvious decision they have to go with is Naomi going over. They can't, make the mistake they did with, Triple H and Booker T back in 2003 at Mania. They got to do the opposite. They got to have Naomi go over and truly get that vindication that she is sought after, and to prove that it doesn't matter what the color of her skin is, she's just as good, if not better, then Naomi gives her credit for, then not Naomi, but then Sonya Deville gives her credit for, and even Charlotte, like I said, if Charlotte's involved, somehow gives her credit for as well. But what do you guys think about all this? How do you feel about, WWE basically subtly, or they try to make it as subtle as, they think they can, but more obvious to all of us. How do you feel about WWE going down this direction with this pretty much apparent, no fooling, no subtlety to anybody, racial storyline between Sonya Deville and Naomi? How do you feel about it? Do you think, this is the best option they have, and that it might lead to something with Charlotte, and Charlotte's revealed as the mastermind? Or do you think it's just going to be revealed that Sonya's a racist, and it's going to lead to something at Mania? What are your thoughts? Comment down below. Live chat during the premiere. Super chat, super stickers are open during the live chat in the premiere and are encouraged. If you can do so. Check me out at BW Rose's Discussions, all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Check me out at BW Roses on VENMO. Check me out at patreon.com/BW Roses to support me at a $1, $3 tier. And also check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2. But again, guys, let me know what your thoughts are, because to me, especially after seeing what happened at the Rumble, it really just pretty much gives off those kind of vibes of this is a racial storyline going on between the two, despite how subtle WWE tries to make it. But let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll talk to you later.